so when Nupur really kind of connected with me and she told me that I have to be the moderator and I'll have to really kind of also introduce her, I was like, how do I introduce someone who I've really kind of known for so many years? I mean, there's so much to tell, but how do I really kind of make it compelling, short, and also something which really gives out an interesting aspect about her personality to everyone who's right there on the call today. So I thought, let me just since I'm introducing a storyteller, let me also write a short story. So here it goes. So a young girl from Varanasi gets married to a journalist and moves to Delhi. She feels lost in the beginning, realizes the only way that's going to happen or that's going to be possible is by being independent. She picks up a job, works really hard, moves from one role to another, and finally finds a calling in coaching people. I've known her for many years, like I said, and one thing that I can confidently say that here's a woman who does not give up. She does not give up on people. She does not give up on relationships. She does not give up on ideas that make a deep impression on her. So no wonder her first book is all about winning and choosing your own definition of it. I've also had a good fortune of working with Nupur in two different organizations, Ogilvy and Reliance Life Insurance. I've had a first-hand experience of her brilliance, both as a professional and a person. I'm grateful for that, and also very impressed by the multitude of things that she does on a daily basis, and makes them look really effortless and easy. And if I can quote her, she says that she works really, really hard to make these simple things that she does on a daily basis look so effortless. I feel very privileged and very excited to welcome this singular force of nature, Nupur Barthwal. Thank you for the book, and thank you for taking time out for this conversation and giving me the opportunity to moderate it. Before I really kind of pass it on to you and get other people to ask you questions and read their favorite chapters from the book, my first question to you is, from being a marketing professional to a writer, what's common? What is your writing process like? I know writing is very, very difficult, and recently I've tried doing a course in writing myself, and I've realized that it's really difficult. It's very difficult to even really kind of get that one page ready. So how did you really get yourself to write this huge, amazing, brilliant book? What's your process like?
So it's quite interesting because, as you said, that I've spent half of my life in marketing, and writing is very, very integral part of marketing. So I'm sure Murali, you and Simrit, like you all are from similar backgrounds, more or less, will agree to this because, we in our daily work life, we are writing product details, we are writing press releases, we are writing agency briefs. And also, because marketing is something where we get into deep dive into consumer insights. So, which is and for me, writing this book was not writing, like if you say a very, very integral part of our daily job, daily work life, which, and also because I spent quite some time in advertising and then moved to corporate. So if you look at the journey, it has been into advertising and then moving on to corporate life, and corporate also was marketing. So writing, I think if you see, this book is less of trying to establish myself as an author or a writer per se, because this is related to my new journey which I have taken after spending like 23, 24 years in corporate life, when I decided to venture into absolutely a new line, where because and today when I look back, like life coaching, I think that I've always wanted to get into this, because I always, when I look back my hostel days, my college days, I was a very natural counselor, because people used to just connect with me and just open up, and they would share things with me and contact me, or they would just come, and across age group. When I say people used to connect with me, this has nothing to do with like only my peers or something, like across age group people feel very comfortable connecting with me. So that's one thing which I thought, and I think that works in my favor in this new line also, because I after doing all this, like managing brands and markets and clients and doing all that, you reach a stage where you want to do something more meaningful, and where you feel that you're contributing, you're doing something for people. So that's when this life coaching started. And this book is an extension of my new journey. And when I started writing this book, it was all about like all the life lessons I've learned, like from my failures, my hardships, and of course, those little successes which I've had in my life. And starting from my personal and professional, covering all the areas of my life, because it's been not an easy journey, especially professional life, So we all know we go through so many challenges, and how we manage and how we get out of it. And we have to find our own ways and paths. So when I started writing this book, I thought that nobody was there to guide me, handhold me, or tell me when I was facing failures, or when I was falling and trying to get up on my own and try to learn things. So I've tried to put everything together in this book, and I'm sure it's going to resonate with a lot of people like you. And maybe it's going to help you somewhere in getting whatever little growth or success you're looking for. Because success, it's a very, like Abhishek was saying, it's a very subjective word. Like it has a meaning, it has a very different meaning for each one of us. So for some people, success would mean just ticking all the boxes at the end of the day, like job list done. So it's a big success for them. Or for someone, it might mean something very different. So it all depends, like what definition you are looking for in success. What does success mean to you in your life? So there are no hard and fast. Abhishek, I can see it looks very thoughtful. And if you're planning to throw any more questions, please carry on. Yeah.
No more questions, actually. You're right.
I'm so privileged, Abhishek. You're saying no more questions. Okay.
No more questions.
Because let me tell you guys, because Abhishek has worked with me as a very young boy when he was in Ogilvy. And then we worked together much later, after how many years, Abhishek? 5-6 years, yeah.
I don't know, 4 years.
So when I was in Reliance Capital, so that's when he joined me, and we have worked together. And he's been a good friend since then, like since early 20s, yeah. So yes, over to you, Abhishek.
Yeah, Nupur, no more questions from me. And like you rightly mentioned, definitely resonates with you when you read this. But everyone who's there on the call right now, they have a lot to really kind of talk about.
Yes.
So I'll get them now, ask you questions and also read their favorite chapters from the book. So the first one who I would like to invite is Dr. Nishat Sheikh from Chicago, USA. Nishat, I hope you can hear me now, and we'll be very happy to hear your perspective, your question, and also your favorite chapter.
Good evening, everybody. I am more than delighted and honored to be on this book session, and I was really looking forward to this on Sunday morning. This is probably one of my best Sundays. So my favorite chapter today is Your Attitude, the Steering Wheel That Directs Your Life. So I would be first reading the first 2 paragraphs from this chapter. And after that, if I have any questions, I'll start off with a question. So attitude is a little thing that makes a difference, by Winston Churchill. In psychology, an attitude is a collection of feelings, beliefs, and behaviors towards a specific object, person, thing, or event. Attitude is primarily the result of experience or upbringing, and it significantly impacts behavior. But it has a far more significant impact on our lives than that. It changes a person's perspective on their life. It is what distinguishes a person. It is what defines them. It determines their personality. While attitudes endure, they can also change. They are not set in stone. It is important to learn to monitor our attitude, its impact on our work performance, relationships, and everyone around us are one of the most important steps we can take towards reaching our full potential in life. So these two paragraphs well resonated with me in this chapter too. Of course, the whole book resonated with me, but these were my favorite because that's how I specifically feel like practically when you begin your day in your work environments, even in your relationships or even outside in the world, that's, I feel like the first thing nailed out counts the most. And it, helped me realize it's a big shift in a person's perspective of overall situation, people, thing, objects, as mentioned. So I think these two paragraphs really well resonated with me, and I truly appreciate this book. Thank you.
Nice.
So, Nishat, do you have any question or any other comment to make? No.
And so far, no questions and comments. Pretty self-explanatory.
No worries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thanks for
you.
that. I feel very happy to now invite Murali Muktapuram. Murali, again, I've known for many years. And I remember when we just started a career at Ogilvy, Murali was one of the people everyone was inspired by and everyone spoke about, and we all wanted to be Murali. So I'm so happy to be on the same Zoom call as he is. And Murali, over to you now.
Thank you so much. Good.
I would like to add one thing. So Murali, all three of us were in Ogilvy together. And as Abhishek said, we always looked up to Murali. He was like, I still do. Yeah. So whenever I feel stuck somewhere, I always go to Murali. And he's an excellent, amazing friend. He's always there.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks for
Thank
the
you for
really
being here.
nice, wonderful words. Makes me feel on top of the world, literally. Thanks, Abhishek. Thanks for the introduction, and thanks, Nupur, for that. And good evening, everybody, and good morning, Nishat. Uh, uh, I'll not particularly read a paragraph from a chapter or something like that, but I'll bring in from what I understood, from the book, or what is my takeaway. Yes. Uh, Let me just start with actually me knowing Nupur as a person. When I met Nupur in Ogilvy, I saw her to be a very simple, straightforward, no nonsense kind of a soul, who initially does not come across, uh, very friendly, and she takes some bit of time, but once she's there, she's there. So, so somewhere, when she told me about the book, and then when I got it in my hand, I could actually see her in this book. You know, uh, if you look at it, while it says, it's all about winning and success and things like that, this book really is a reflection of the kind of person she is, which is very simple, very easy and uncomplicated. If you look at it, that's what our lives is all about. That's what therefore leads you to winning. You know, so that actually got me reading, because it's not really heavy fundas, you know, 10 steps to win in life kind of a, book. But it is like, like the chapter which Nisar just read, about attitude, this tells you that, hey, for any person, you are the car and you are the right driver and you are the pillion too, you know. So it is not about telling me that, hey, follow these steps and then, therefore you see the results coming out kind of a thing, you know. It is telling me and giving me a perspective saying that boss, there are many things in life. There are opportunities, there are ups and downs, there are failures, but it is about, how you identify those victories, and how do you identify those failures and then get and learn from them, you know. And this boils down to an individual aspect, which I really, uh, again, my personal, if I have to put a chapter to it, it's the attitude. The attitude of a person the is the driving force behind everything that we see in life. If I like something, I would go and do it as a person. If I don't like it, even if it's the best thing in the world, I won't do it, isn't it? So that's the attitude, which drives us. So if you look at it, I could actually relate to, because I follow sports, I've been a sports person also, when I look at it, if you see the attitude in terms of, what drives attitude is, let me take a example. I mean, I hope all of us are familiar with cricket, if not follow it. But, if you see, there was a time, when we were in the younger days, Indian cricket, you know, we had some very good world class players, but we were not winning. Not because our game was any bad, you know, but come 20s, 2000s, early, 2010s, something changed. Not that, we started playing better cricket, not that, we had better coaching or better, environment. What changed was the attitude. Suddenly over a period of time, through learning from failures, we realize that, hey, I have a winning attitude in me. That probably one person got in, probably a group of people therefore adopted to that kind of a thinking, and then that now became a norm, and we are an invincible team now, as we speak. So just to quote, one thing which she wrote in terms of this thing, you know, it says that, if you hang out with chickens, you are going to cluck, and if you hang out with eagles, you're going to fly. I think that's a very important thing, because when you talk, and nowadays, when we talk about an attitude, we don't talk in isolation. We live in an environment, which is got our social, cultural, and a lot of other aspects around, and then, which influence the way we behave and live in the society. you know so it is about, how I therefore, adopt myself, and how I therefore learn from what I'm doing. Especially this one another aspect, which she talks about, in the thing. It is about, it is important to learn to monitor our attitude. I think that's a very powerful sentence to make, because if you just say that, hey, I have this attitude and then I just go on being like that, that means nothing. You got to monitor it. The way I took it out was, when you monitor your attitude, you got to see in terms of what is the kind of impact it is going to have on my life, and also the environment around me. I think so. Therefore, this book somewhere tells me that, hey guys, you have everything within you. It is about how you want to take it to the destination that you want to reach. It is what that you want to achieve in life. So uh, just to conclude, what I just said, the key takeaways from the book was, I just made some small little notes. It is about it's about learning, it's about flexibility, it's about adaptability, and it's about the willingness to therefore, do it. I think this is what the book in totality has told me. And I think the backbone of this book is this chapter, which is very aptly titled, called "Your Attitude is a Steering Wheel That Directs Your Life." Because nobody else can do it. No writer, or no guru, or no teacher, or no coach can only tell you, saying that, hey, this is what you got to do. But eventually, it is me, as I said, the driver, and the pillion who have to do it. And many congratulations, Nupur, for penning this book down. It's a wonderful, like I said, a book, which I don't read it as a one-off, novel, which I read it and then keep it aside and then say, hey, there were some good points in this. I probably refer back to it, in between when I would want to really just, refresh myself up and then say that, ki boss, okay, I'm stuck somewhere. Maybe there are few gems here I can pick up and then, move on.
Thank you
That's it.
so much. Thank you so much, Murali. Thank you.
Welcome. Thank you.
I really appreciate that you found some value in it. Yeah.
No, otherwise we won't all be meeting here and then talking about it. It surely is a useful. Like I said, the way I would see the book is like not like I said, uh, uh, 10 steps to thing, or get life gets better. Follow these principles kind of a book. It is a nice, simple reference kind of a thing, which I keep with me, and then refer to it, when I feel like, when I'm probably, looking for a certain ray of hope or looking for a push in life, you know. Most often what happens is we wait for others to actually give that push to us. We somewhere, feel that, we are probably not ready yet or capable enough, so you expect, knowingly, subconsciously, unknowingly, looking for people to come and, push us, saying that, hey, you can do it. Probably you're waiting for that kind of a push from somebody. But I think, this book somewhere, does that kind of a job too. You know, I can go back to this book and say, hey, now tell me, give me a perspective, give me a little opening, tell me saying that I can do it, you know, so then I can do it, So that way, yeah, it's a brilliant work. Many congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Murali.
That was really insightful, Murali. Thank you so much for that. May I now invite Nadiya Aslam, who's joining us from Saudi Arabia. Nadiya, over to you.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for this, this place to be able to talk about one of my favorite persons, really. And just before I talk about the book, I want to read something which really connected with me, and then I'll tell you why. So it's chapter number 5. It's about consistency and persistency. So a young teenager once witnessed something horrific on the banks of the drying river that made him cry. Thousands of snakes and reptiles dying on the barren sandbars. He made it to the mission and took an oath to stop other animals from dying in the same way, even though he received no government support due to lack of understanding of his vision. He persevered alone in planting trees, and 30 years later, preventing species from extinction. So he not only saved the remaining species from extinction, but also imported various ants and small animals to help balance the ecosystem. Now he has been recognized and supported by numerous organizations, and even the government stepped in forward, naming the forest after him. The reason I read this out, it connected with me because of when me and Nupur always patiently listen to all my, unhazy, nebulous ideas. And, and this is something, and sometimes when I spoke to people and they never connected with my ideas, and because they could never understand my vision. But, she always takes time, as a coach, maybe she's so beautiful as a coach. She always took time to understand the detail, of individual. So I think, and when I read this, it really connected. My vision was very hazy, very nebulous. It's difficult for somebody to, explain or to be understood. But what stood out was she always told me, just persevere what you're doing. It's okay. You will get to the end goal gradually. You don't need to have clarity at everything. So this clarity really connected me, and it's something I really thank Nupur all the time. The kind of clarity she gives to me, she's a great friend, an excellent coach, no doubt, but something I keep for my life. And the last thing, you know, absolutely, you have to persevere to be successful. One must possess the necessary qualities. They must acquire if you don't already have them. And the last sentence I really want to add is there are some hidden, undiscovered treasures, and you really need somebody to help you, get this. So I think reading this book connected me more with what Nupur said, and it's like basically hearing her talk to me, when I read this book. So that's why I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's like I told her, I just feel that you're speaking to me, and yeah. So I really, thank Nupur and for the opportunity to be able to share my love for you. I thoroughly enjoyed reading the book. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Nadiya. Thank you so much.
And Nadiya, you're so right. Nupur has this Zen-like quality. I mean, she sits very quietly next to you, and she would just listen to you, and she would always give you a perspective that perhaps you don't have. So thank you for sharing that. Shambhavi Singh was supposed to join us from Bangalore, but then she's not there today because of some really last minute emergency. But then we have Ruchi with us from Ahmedabad. Ruchi, over to you.
Hey everyone. Uh, so before talking about Nupur, I'd like to read this. I usually when I read a book and if I really like something in the book, I have a habit of marking, with my pencil. And I kind of like date all the chapters that I do. I know it's a very weird habit, but this is how I am. So uh, I'm going to read from chapter 6, that is Create Empowering Self-Belief. This is like my all-time favorite chapter. I don't know why, because I kind of like keep on. I've read this like 4 times, this chapter from the entire book. So I like the Lord Alfred Tennyson's quote over here: self-reverence, self-knowledge, self-control, these three alone lead to power. And one quote from Muhammad Ali: to be a great champion, you must believe that you are the best. If you're not, pretend you are. I think that's a given, in this era, in these specific times. So how to beat the odds is one of the sub chapters, and there is a paragraph that it resonates with me. Asking how to believe in yourself opens the door for a deeper question. What are the beliefs that are causing these emotions in the first place? Negative emotions like self-doubt or anxiety are deeply connected to the opinions we have of ourselves based on our life experiences. They are your brain telling you that it's time to examine these limiting beliefs and replace them with empowering ones. But that can be easier said than done. One way to get started is to focus on your self talk. Now, this is a very important line for me. The words you choose when you speak to yourself, according to the Mayo Clinic, positive self talk can help your coping skills, improve psychological well being, and even increase your lifespan. So, the next time you catch a negative inner monologue, change your self talk by replacing those comments with positive thoughts. I think this is the most important thing. It's like you need to start. I think it's more about when I always read this, it kind of, helps me realize that you don't need validation from others. You seek validation from your own self. That is what self talk, positive self talk is all about. And it's so well put over here, and being in my 30s, and I don't know whether I'm a millennium or I'm a Gen Z or a Gen X, because I'm like somewhere in between. So this book is like, the best part about this book is, even if someone who is in his 50s who read this book, and if someone who is in their 20s they read this book, or in their 30s, each and every chapter resonates, and they can pick up, something or the other from the book, and it applies to them. Now I'm going to come back to Nupur. She's been my life coach. Okay, so I've been with her for the past 2 months now, and the best part about having a session with Nupur is, every time, when you meet her during the weekend, the first question she asks is, "And how are you today?" And when she asks you that question, you really want to, talk to her and tell you how your day has been, because "how are you" is a very generic line that everyone uses. I mean, I I'm the kind of person who will just, just ask someone, how are you, just for the heck of it, and I won't mean it. I mean, that is how, my generation works. But when she really asks you, you feel like, okay, she really wants to know how your day has been. It's not just for the sake of asking someone. So she's someone, I can share my deepest thoughts. I can, share whatever I feel like. And she never judges, and she'll always come up with solutions. Like the other day, I was talking to her about something that I did, and I was kind of embarrassed, to speak about it. But I called her up, and she was ready to take my call. And then I told her, okay, see, this is what I did. What do you think I should do? And instead of judging me or instead of telling me, she said, okay, first of all, tell me, how did you feel about yourself after this? I said, I didn't feel okay about it. What were the but how could I have, handled the situation? And she was ready with the tips. She was ready with, three, four solutions, on how, the next time if I'm in that kind of a situation, how could I, probably, handle it in A, B, C. And it's not just one contingency plan. Okay. It's not just A or a B plan. She's got C, D, and E. So that's the best, she has kind of a bag of tricks, she takes out, say, ye wala use karo, ye nahi hai to wo wala use karo. So that's what I love about her. And as a coach, she really takes, time out, to I think her coaching style is more unique to I think it's more personal, because the kind of personality I am and the way she coaches me, I think it will differ to if she coaches somebody else. So she takes that extra time to, get to know you. And honestly, she's more like a friend now, and a confidant, I would say, than, a life coach to me. She's like everything to me. So I always keep on, I've not been like touch with her for the past 1 week, but I think she's always in my thoughts. And whenever, like, when she told me about this book, and the copy, that when I got it, I read it in one sitting. I mean, 2 hours, and I was done with it. And I keep on rereading the chapters and the lines that resonate with me. So that's about it. And I totally love her a lot.
Thank you. Thank you, Ruchi. Thank you.
That was really sweet, Ruchi. Up next is Sabah from Bangalore. Sabah, you there, right? Sabah is missing from her chair. So we'll come back to Sabah. Can we have Smriti instead right now?
Yeah, Simrit.
Simrit, sorry. Sabah is back actually. So should we, or let's go with Simrit and we'll come back to Sabah.
Yeah.
So,
hi everyone. Hi Nupur.
Hi.
I am going to be speaking a little bit around chapter 8. There's an excerpt actually which really spoke to me. And for me, I mean, when you read the book, there are different interpretations. It speaks to you differently, different parts of it. For me, self-talk, the way it was constructed, it was synonymous with self-love, which is very important. And there is one very interesting insight which is mentioned in chapter 8 around self-talk, which I will just read out. It's talking about basically how negative self-talk can really block. So self-talk can block, clutter, and confuse our minds. It limits our minds. It holds us back from thinking big, and therefore refrains us from accomplishing our goals. In the first place, it doesn't allow us to set a goal. It puts obstruction towards setting a goal. It turns self-assurance into self-doubt and confusion. It crushes your best intentions and makes you satisfied with mediocrity. It dashes our hopes, and you learn to remain mediocre. Suppose you are going for an interview and you desperately need to crack the interview because you need the job urgently. At this point, if you keep telling yourself, I'm nervous, or I don't think I will be able to answer them, I'm sweating a lot, I don't know how I am going to enter the room, etc. Do you think you will be able to face the interviewer at all? See what you say when you are alone or when you talk to yourself. And this is very important actually. We really need to watch how we converse with our own self. The last bit is in continuation to this same insight. It tells you how you should always be positive while talking to yourself. Instead of saying these phrases like, I can't do this, I can't do that, or being negative about things, you should be ready to face the people inside the room. You should say to yourself, I'm suitable for this post and I can do my best. I am better than what I was in my last interview, and I am going to get it anyway. Now think you will feel after you finish saying all of these to yourself, and your confidence gets boosted. And when you enter that room, you feel positive and confident. Which mindset would you like to have? Think that way. It may seem that the negative words do not harm at that time, but they act as the backbone of everything that works against our way. Get rid of yourself from I can't, and you will see that you have got rid of your greatest enemy. It is so profound and it's so true. Each one of us during the course of our lives have been our greatest enemy with the negativity that we bring to ourselves. It's important to be honest to yourself, yes, but it is also important to love yourself and encourage yourself and push yourself forward. And self-talk and the positive self-talk is very important in that regard. Thank you so much, Nupur. That was just so nice to have that, just those words just popped out of the book at me, and I wanted to share that in this forum.
Thank you, Simrit. Thank you so much. I'm happy it resonated so well with you, because it is very, very important. At times, I feel it's more than attitude, because what we keep telling ourselves, all that inner chatter which keeps happening, that decides what kind of life we lead, because that's the image we create for ourselves, and the way you see yourself, the world will see you the same, with the same glasses. You know, we say people don't love me, but do we ever ask, do we love ourselves? Oh, he or she doesn't respect me, but am I respecting myself? No, I don't. So it is very, very important. So whenever you start working on your inner world, your outer world will completely change, but it is quite a cumbersome job. It doesn't happen overnight. You know, it needs a lot of patience and practice.
It's a continuous journey.
It's continuous journey. It's forever learning. So Ruchi was telling me about, has been under me as my coachee. So she needs to continuously keep working on herself, you know. Yes. So whatever breakthrough she's got, if she wants to continue and if she wants to get more and more, the journey will not end here. You'll have to continuously keep working. Now you're aware, you know what you need to work on. So that work has to be done by you, you know, and it's a continuous thing. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yes, Abhishek, over to you.
Yes, absolutely. The stories that we keep telling ourselves are the most
very, very important.
Yeah. Yes. With that, I bring Puneet. I actually invite Puneet now. She's the last participant of the evening. Puneet, over to you.
Thank you so much. I'm so honored to be here. And I met Nupur recently. I think it's just a heart connect. She's so beautiful, poised, elegant, and full of compassion and love, and so appreciative. I can literally, I can just feel her aura. And this book, I just got it recently, and I just went through it, and it was like my whole life came to me as a flashback, you know. And it's like I had a lot of dreams as a child, and then somewhere along the way during my teens, I kind of suppressed all of them, and I made a parallel dream birth, thought they would never come true, and I was living like two kind of lives. And somehow, you know, the whole self-talk which you're talking about, that was negative about myself. I would love and admire everybody around me and love confident women around, but I would feel lesser. So there was a comparison. And also action was missing. There was no clarity. All of that was there. And after I joined Buddhism, I Nupur would be knowing since she also practices, something changed subtly, you know, from beneath the, you know, something just started unlayering. And before I knew it, I had gone from the victim mode to the empowering mode, where I felt that I'm responsible, but it's a long journey. It doesn't happen overnight, as Nupur mentioned. And like Murali said that, you know, we're always waiting for somebody to push us. So I was also always waiting for that push. and it never came. It was like, so I think we have to start, the self-love is missing. It's like whatever you think about yourself, that's the way the world perceives you. So we have to actually expand our horizon and our perspective. And this book is so beautiful. It's going to serve like a Bible for me, because she has written it with so much love and gentleness that, it kind of steers you towards the path. Like when you go straight, just gets you back. It has covered everything and so gently. It is not a book which is imposing or pressing on you. It is a very gentle, kind of a flowing kind of a guide. And she's covered almost everything from attitude to dreaming to what success. And I actually resonated with that example she gave about that elephant, tied with chains, who thinks that he's always, I felt like I was that elephant, I had my wings also but I never kind of was not aware. So it's okay. Life is changing. It's beautiful. And I would like to share today this part on page 96 from the 9th chapter, The Secret Success Formula. It's about being in the present moment, because, I was always fluctuating between anxiety from the past and anticipating something based on the past, that, like something would happen, like worrying about my child or any conflict or whatever. So I missed all those moments. So now I just feel that when you detach and you actually live in that moment, more happy moments make for more happy moments, it just like calls for more. So it's beautiful. I'd like to read from here. Let the present be your friend. Live in the moment. Eckhart Tolle says, don't wait to be successful and future. Have a success with the present moment and be fully present in whatever you're doing. This is success. Yesterday is no longer a part of the present. Tomorrow is an enigma. Today is a gift, which is why it is referred to as the present. The past is something you can't change, and the future is something you don't know. However, you have control over the present. You're holding a present. The most important thing is to live in the present moment. Past is a beautiful place to visit, but it is not a good place to stay. Thinking about the past makes you sad, depressed, and anxious. Life is only available in the present moment. Living in the present moment entails accepting what cannot be changed and focusing on what can be changed and controlled. I think it's beautiful. Every moment is a new determination and a new possibility to win in life. So thank you. Over to you. Thank you, Nupur. Thank you so much for having me here.
Thank you so much, Puneet. Thank you. And let me tell you that Puneet herself is a very, very good poet. She writes beautiful poetries. And we have been telling her to compile and publish, but I don't know what is holding her. So I'm sure after this, she is going to do that, right?
So I'm going to read that poem every morning, and I'm going to do it. If you think you can, yeah.
Yes.
Thank you, Nupur.
Thank you, Puneet. I'm happy you like
now
it.
is the moment, Puneet. You should just go ahead and publish it.
She really writes very well. Yeah.
And Nupur, like Puneet mentioned, now is the moment, and now is your moment. So why don't you wrap this up and end it with a parting note that we really, all of us really think about and reflect on and implement in our lives.
Oh, wow. So first of all, thank you so much. And I really mean it, all of you. And like it's a Sunday afternoon, and for Nishat, it's early morning. So I'm so grateful for each one of you to take out time and join this. It means a lot. It's my first book. So whatever, like I've tried to put in my learnings, as I told you, from my professional and personal life, all my struggles and my failures and everything. So this has come out from everything that I have learned from my life. And as I was mentioning, because, when I was going through all this, there was nobody to handhold or guide me or tell me that instead of going left, why don't you move little right? Maybe this is the right track. So there was nobody there. So we all learn our lessons. We all go through the failures. And I always believe, pain and failures, they always teach you a lot. So they make you a better person, and they also teach you a lot of things in life. And in this book, my favorite is self-talk, because I firmly believe in this. Like I said, more than attitude. So whatever you tell yourself, be very, very cautious, because we in life, we listen to ourselves more than we listen to anyone else. So what you're telling yourself is very, very important. And what you tell yourself will translate into your action. And that action will translate into further results. And then we say, oh, I've been trying so hard and I'm not getting any success, because you have told yourself that it's not going to happen. So whatever effort you're making is not coming from you. It's a mechanical thing, because you've already decided, you've told yourself that it's not going to work. So change that self-talk, get into some self-love, which is very, very important. Extremely important. We don't love ourselves. We are super critical. We are extremely critical about ourselves. We're champions in finding faults in ourselves, And like if you ask someone to write one paragraph about themselves, or anything nice about them, I've seen people, they can't write 4 lines straight. They'll start chewing their pen, thinking, oh my God, what do I write? What do I write? What do I write? So this is where you need to work on. Because nobody else will, because this world is full of people who are just ready to criticize you for anything and everything. So please don't be so harsh on yourself. Be kind to yourself. That's very, very important. That's all. And I'm so thank you, so grateful to each one of you. Nadiya, Ruchi, Murali, Puneet, Nishat, Simrit, and of course, Abhishek.